Joining me for a closer look at what's played out on the market scene today is Viv Govender from Ransus Offshore. Thank you so much for your time, Viv. Lots of company news out today, so let's actually get straight into it. We did have Lipstar releasing its interim results. It also posted a cautionary announcement, of course, one of the big news for the day. But let's actually start off with the numbers. And for me, what was interesting is that they managed growth on both revenue and volumes. And it's quite rare to see that happening. What did you pick up from Lipstar's performance?
Yeah, I mean, because obviously, as you say, when you have a potential buyout, it swamps all of the numbers because, of course, it doesn't matter what the company is doing. It's what somebody's going to pay for it. If somebody's going to buy the entire thing, that kind of makes a huge differential. With regards to the overall numbers themselves here, I do think, the company is doing reasonably well. As you said, despite, quite, difficult market conditions, I do think that, the performance in this kind of environment indicates, a really good, really strong company. But like I said, it is a question of, towards the underlying market conditions. But, when it comes to, we don't buy the company at the moment. It's all about the buyout offer. A 16% move is going to be something that's going to be very difficult to be reflected by just any kind of normal news event.
Yeah, very, very attractive for both investors and obviously whoever the potential buyer is at the moment. Well, other food producers also came out with numbers. Viv Premier came out with a 6-month trading statement, expects its headline earnings per share to accelerate by as much as 30%. Not much color that they gave us there, but the stock did climb over 4% the last time I checked. Can you fill in the gaps for us?
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of, again, this is a day for food producers. You have quite a few of them coming out. I think you're seeing a similar kind of situation happening here as elsewhere as well. We are seeing, obviously, moderate growth coming through. Some deflation coming through in terms of commodity prices, which is obviously positive for these companies. Trying to predict the margins is a difficult thing. Revenue is up by 7%. Margins were up by basically 31%, showing, of course, not margins, but earnings up by 31%, obviously showing that they were project margins here. They are still, in a consolidation phase. They are looking to, acquire as well out there. They stake in Gold Key. I do think, with regards to just the overall situation right now, these companies are all facing a similar kind of issue with regards to weaker consumer, but again, reasonably good results in that environment.
All right. Well, another food company, RFG, Rhodes Food Holdings, releasing an 11-month trading update. As much as we saw about 2.4% increase in the top line, there were actually different dynamics playing out in the different segments, regional versus international. But we did see the share price popping by over 7%. What's your take on what the company produced and how investors reacted?
I mean, we must understand that regional versus national is the two major segments, but the regional is basically, the local is 96% of their operation. So you can see that it dominates more than 90% in fact of the operation. So it dominates the overall numbers. They are saying, in terms of, demand for some of this food stuff, the fruit stuff rather, it's been under a bit of pressure. They also do say the same thing, difficulties in the trading environment. Again, just like the others talked about as well. There's also talk about acquisitions. They've apparently had about 10 acquisitions in the last less than a decade or so. Revenue up slightly. Still, weaker consumer sentiment in the country is obviously affecting them as well.
Let's get into property. Hyprop released year-end results. They did say that they surprised to the upside on their distributable earnings per share guidance, and actually saying that they expect double-digit growth in dips for FY26. How would you characterize Hyprop's growth profile from these numbers?
Yeah, look, I mean, again, I think it's more regional than property. Or more geographically determined as property, of course, because when you can't move land. The fact of the matter is that they are looking to do more stuff in Eastern Europe and more opportunities there. I do think that it's an environment that is probably longer term a good investment to get into. We are seeing, obviously Western Europe having troubles with regards to a number of factors. Even the strong economies of places like the UK and Germany, as well as France, the three big economies in Europe, have all had major issues in the last while. Whereas we're seeing, a sort of remarkable recovery happening, or not recovery, but actually growth happening in Eastern Europe. I mean, I saw recently that Poland just reached the same per capita GDP number as Japan, which is amazing to see happening. And these countries are a bit more, on an upward track. They have faster growth rates, more upside potential. So it does kind of make sense that you're looking there. So I kind of think that that's not the right way to go to. That being said, even South Africa saw like an 11% increase in income. That's also a bit of a positive for that part of the business as well.
All right. Well, Viv, let's get to your stock pick for today. What are you choosing?
Alphabet, it's been one of my favorite stocks for a while. I've just seen the recent numbers from the company. And I think one thing to understand is that Alphabet has so many different parts to it that if you just have to look at each one individually, they're comparable to entire businesses out there. YouTube is comparable to Netflix. Waymo is comparable to Uber in terms of what it could be doing. DeepMind is comparable to OpenAI. And one interesting thing I think is that people don't realize that Alphabet also has its own chip-making facilities. They make a chip called the TPU as opposed to what's called the GPU. And the TPU, basically, they don't sell it to the public or to the general market, but they asked them to change that. If you think about the fact that the number one, most valuable company in the world is a company called NVIDIA, and they also make chips. The idea that, Google might have something inside their company that could be competing with the number one most valuable company in the world just shows you how powerful the total, parts of the company are.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your insights on what has moved investors' money today, Viv. That was Viv Govender from Ransus Offshore.